Hey guys, it is Timo here with EAV Rudio, and I have the Subhumans getting a little interview set up. So say hi, Dick.
Hi folks, how are you? Well, that's a daft question really, it's a rhetorical question. If you're like me, you're sort of sweating in the overall blanket feeling of the September twilight as we settle into a nice conversation under a blanket of heat. I don't know how you do it, you're all snakes.
That was poetic, if I may say so myself.
Almost, nearly rhymed as well.
So my first question for you, who do you think you are?
Hi, who do I think I am? I think I'm a singer. I think I'm here in Atlanta. I sing for the Subhumans. My name's Dick Lucas. That's of minor importance, really. The Subhumans bit is fairly important because we travelled all the way here. Apparently, we haven't been in Atlanta for 18 years.
Wow.
It took us that long to get back. You know, late buses, that sort of thing, snow on the road, that sort of thing. But it's good to be back so far.
We are very glad to have you guys back. Speaking of it, it's been a long time since you guys actually started out in 1980. How do you compare touring back then to now? What's better, what's worse?
What's better is it's much easier now. I mean, we've got the technology to help us get through the roads and get the actual right directions with all the sat navs and things like that. That's a lot easier. It's a lot less violent these days. There used to be random venues that you didn't realise until you got there where a bunch of skinheads was likely going to be turning up because they like beating up on punks. That sort of thing's diminished almost to zero, which is nice. People are possibly less aware or caring about what they should look like at a punk show. In some cities, in other cities, they're all in the standard uniform, as you might call it. Leather, spikes, patches. It all depends. That kind of doesn't matter either, really. That's neither better nor worse. I do kind of miss, in a sort of masochistic way, the way that tours used to be organised, which is like by letter and by phone, because it was always much more direct than doing it by emails. It was much less time sat in front of a screen. Theoretically, I guess, the last generation of people who weren't brought up with computers as a thing in the house. You know, we had tellies in our house, but they were kind of almost a new thing. Colour TV was a new thing when I was about 6 years old. Showing me age, which is quite old, folks, don't worry about it. The alternative to getting old is dying, so go with it.
I like it. Can you talk a little bit about Crisis Point, your new release?
I could. Yes, it's the first album in way too long. The explanation for that is not that we were honing the tracks for 12 years, but that our drummer lives in Germany and we all live in England, so we get to practice like once a year or something, so the new songs take their time coming together. And so we recorded them all in April to successfully get them out by now on the label from Oakland called Pirates Press Records, who we'd met just casually, socially, when we were over on the West Coast. And nice bunch of people. They're well up for it, and they're a very good label in terms of promo and doing what they say and being really active in helping us out. So full kudos to them. What else can I say? It's 10 songs. It's oddly at 45 RPM, but that's a better speed to play out than 33 because you get more quality, wider grooves on the actual record. And it's also oddly out on cassette, and everybody's thinking, wow, where did I put that cassette player? You're like,
if they can find a cassette player.
If they can find one, yeah. It's kind of cute that it is on that because it's pocket-sized and portable, and cassettes still last longer than CDs. All that gumph about CDs being the new hyper-safe, indestructible format, nah, not at all. So we're on tour supporting that, coming out, and we're very happy with it. Almost as happy as the 4 so far reviews we've had of it, which have been extraordinarily positive. More than we imagined. I guess we're just more or less on the pessimistic side of things than the optimistic side when it comes to that. But if you're a pessimist, more things go well and you're happier in the end than if you're an optimist, where if anything goes wrong you kind of get let down. That's my theory.
On the thing of songwriting and all that, punk has never gone away. It's always been here. But do you think with the current climate in the world, with different countries and whatnot, that it's making a comeback or even just more important nowadays?
Whether it's punk or not that does it, it's still very vital for musicians in bands generally to get off their lazy penmanship and start writing about the shit that's going down. Because can we swear on this station?
Yes, you can.
That's good.
Internet radio,
that's
baby.
Great. because there is still so much shit going down. It used to be way back when where punk rock was like the only scene that was actually bothering to mention politics or the corruption of politicians at all, and it seemed to be like our sort of not very guarded secret, but that the world was run by corruption, hate, war, greed, that sort of thing, and now it's on the front page of most newspapers every day of the week. So there's no public knowledge how messed up this planet is in. There's a rise in fascism, nationalism, decorated with the words like patriotism and being loyal to your country, whatever. Countries are made up of just man-made borders, and all that stuff just winds me up. I think it's kind of pathetic. There's a lot of racism about, all entirely based on the colour of people's skin. It's all pigmentation, folks. Everything else is on the inside, including brain power, and the brain power to work out that people are basically the same. I mean, within parameters of like, I don't know, intelligence or ability to run around a field quicker than somebody else, or sing or not sing, or just talent or anything like that. But skin colour is really so unimportant.
You're
so
right.
It's like no child is ever born racist or nationalist or sexist or any of these things. They are imposed from the adult world. So just kind of remember back to when you didn't know anything about that sort of thing, and that's what life should actually still be like.
And that is a very, very good answer. I like the way that you articulated that very well.
Thank you.
Now, that was a very serious question. Let's turn it and get a little more fun here for this next question. What's the craziest thing that you've encountered at a live show in your entire career? If you could think of just one thing, like, oh my God, I wouldn't believe this.
Possibly the first time we played America ever was in 1984, and we played, the first show was in the Olympic Stadium in LA. And it was that big that we drove into the venue. Like, the van goes into the venue. It's like, what? That's never happened before. And it's huge. It's like used for wrestling matches or something usually. There's like possibly 3,000 seats in a circle apart from the stage bit. So it's not the maddest thing to see generally. Now we're all used to it, but we'd never seen a pit before. I mean, we'd never seen a lot of things in punk rock before until we came to America. There was the pit. There was all this running around violently and throwing fists around. It's like, what's that all about? Stage diving, never really encountered that before. People might fall off the stage, but they didn't actually get on stage to deliberately leap off it and shit. So it was all like way more physical than we'd encountered before. The craziest thing that happened after a show might be the guy, well, put it this way, we left the show in San Luis Obispo in California, and lots of people were like waving at us as we left the outside of the venue, which is kind of odd. We thought, friendly crowd, they even waved us goodbye, you know. Drove on the way to San Francisco. Towards the end of the tour, we were flying out to San Francisco the next day, whatever, and occasionally a truck would go past, had flashing headlights. I thought, what's that about, you know what I mean? Back off. Then a cop car comes up and he's doing roughly the same. It's like he pulls us over and he said, you got any idea what I pulled you over? I said, well, no. And then turns out there's a guy on the back of the van, like he's stood on the plate at the bottom of the back doors. He's got his hands up on the roof railing thing, and he's been clutching onto there for at least 2.5 hours.
Wow. Without
falling off. And it's just like, yeah, wow. Like, couldn't you have just asked for a lift? And it's like, you're going to arrest him? And the cop's like, well, not quite sure if he's broken any laws here, but we're going to give him a bed for the night, sort of thing, you know what I mean? Rather than let him carry on. So that was pretty insane.
Yeah, I don't think I've heard something quite that off the rails. Next question. Do you have any advice for any young musicians trying to make it out there today?
The way to make it out there doesn't involve contracts, management, large amounts of money being thrown at you, promises from people who wear suits, or even if they don't wear suits. All that stuff is still out there. I mean, the DIY scene in punk rock has inspired a lot of bands to like know before they start that the way to do it is work with your friends, book your own shows as far as you can. Work with shows that are run cooperatively, where all the people at the show actually either own the venue or have got a good say in how the venue's run. So you can ask for no bouncers if you don't want any. You can ask for no railings at the front. You can ask for whatever. There's some degree of control coming from the band. The thing that will make you big, i.e. more popular than you are already when you start out, is going to be your songs. And after that, your attitude towards crowds, towards people you're dealing with. If you think you're God's gift before you even start, then you're not, and go fuck yourself. Everybody thinks they're pretty good when they start because it's great fun playing music. And you may not be the best band ever, but that really doesn't matter. If you want to sound like somebody else, do that. But try and put a bit of originality in your tunes, that way you get noticed. Being noticed and being heard and being liked are the three things to get so-called big. That's the first stage of any so-called success. And longevity is a good one. If you can keep going at it instead of like, oh, I'm a bit bored now, quit, I'm going to go get a proper job. Come on, no, that's not the attitude. Sure, you do need to earn some money to be able to keep going without having to get a job. But you can get a job and still play at the weekends. That's how we started off. That's how all bands start off, I think.
Well, you mentioned longevity. I think you are a good example of that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's always surprising how many years have actually passed when you stop to consider it. We got our 40th anniversary tour that we haven't set up yet next year. I mean, in theory, it's a good time to do an anniversary tour, except we'd be touring anyway, so we just slap a tag on it of 40 years and make people go, oh my God, they're much older than I thought. Maybe it's not a good idea.
Well, that is all that I've got. I don't want to take up any more of your time. I know you got things to do and get ready for the show tonight. Is there anything that I missed that you wanted to tell everybody that's out there that I don't know about that you just wanted to share?
Thanks for turning up at the shows. Without people turning up, we would have folded ages ago.
All right, again, I'm here with Dick from the Subhumans. This is Timo from EAV Audio. Telling you to take it light, keep it easy. See you next time.